I do want to get into a trade that was proposed to the Pistons, and I'm sure you saw it. So Jalen
Yep.
Duren was on the Los Angeles Lakers radar.
Yep.
I read a report from Clutch Points, and I want to say it was Brett Siegel. He said that the Lakers tried to get Robert Williams from Portland, Jalen Duren, and they eventually struck a deal with the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte's going to Charlotte. They got Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, and a first-round draft pick that's in middle school right now. But what I want to like kind of ask you, Sean, is were you kind of surprised that you saw a report that the Lakers tried to like take advantage and get Jalen Duren away from the Detroit Pistons?
Not at all, especially when I saw that Mark Williams was the player that they got. I mean, my my immediate question was, well, was Jalen Duren someone they were interested in? Because Duren's kind of a better version of what they got in Mark Williams, right? Like his ability to like catch lobs, run the rim, be a rim protector, be available, be in good condition. Something that Mark Williams has struggled with a little bit more. Um, to me, I'm not surprised either that they ultimately declined it because I think something that's really important to like really like not underestimate is like obviously we know why they went and made that deal was because they want that big man to pair with Luca for years to come. Well, the Caden Duren connection has really flourished this season. And, from everything I've heard, it's not even just the relationship on the court, it's the relationship in the bond off the court too. Like those are guys who work very well together. And with how good that they've been, as much as big of a haul as that was, and as good as a guy like Dalton Connect is, as much as nice as it would be to have a first round pick, I just think if that was the offer that the Pistons were presented, I think it was smart on Trajan to not jump on that and to allow this to continue to develop at Duren, because especially over the last month, he's been looking more and more like the player that we all thought that he could have been heading into, this season. And obviously when he was acquired on draft night. So I'm not surprised that Rob Pelinka called and inquired about Duren, because again, like with Mark Williams, a very similar, type of prospect, but Duren, in my opinion, would certainly have been higher on that board. So I'm not surprised that Mark Williams is a backup plan to a potential Jalen Duren acquisition. Because could you imagine Jalen Duren catching lobs from Luka Doncic? That would be absolute murder. And by the way, as much as we don't want to admit it, Jalen Duren would look like $1,000,000 in a Lakers uniform.
He would. I would be sick to my stomach if the Pistons would have traded Duren for that. Like, obviously, the first round pick is the first round pick. We'll see what happens there. But what puzzled me about that trade with Charlotte is, Sean, not even 3 weeks ago, they traded Nick Richards and they said, Mark Williams, this is your team. You're going to be our franchise center.
Yep. And then they said, LOL, JK, we just got a really good offer.
Yeah, like Dalton Connect, I know there was a lot of Pistons fans during the NBA draft time that wanted him. He's going to be a good player, but going from
Yep.
Los Angeles to Charlotte, good grief, poor kid.
To go from playing with Luca and LeBron to LaMelo and Miles Bridges in a span of 24 hours, my thoughts and prayers to Dalton Connect and his family.
Yeah.
Although I just realized I'll probably be seeing Dalton Connect's debut in a Charlotte Hornets uniform tomorrow.
Yeah, and Cam Reddish will be there too. Yeah,
Cam Reddish will certainly be in attendance.
Cam Reddish and Miles Bridges on the same team. That's a goon squad. I'm just telling you, because Cam Reddish is cut from the same cloth as Miles Bridges. Like I know those two are going to get along. Like just probably be best friends in the locker room. But that trade, like I'm still trying to process it from like Charlotte's standpoint. Like I don't understand how that like really like helps you long term, because now you need a center. And you have a guy in LaMelo Ball who loves throwing lobs. Miles Bridges is not that guy anymore. He's completely fell off a cliff in terms of just production. He's not that fun, bouncy wing that can just like catch lobs like Asar is currently right now. But yeah, man, I'm glad the Pistons didn't move off from Duren. I'm glad Trajan kept them intact. It kind of makes me wonder, like, what other moves were presented to the Pistons that haven't got leaked out yet? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure there were a lot of calls, because Trajan said we didn't call anyone. We were just picking up the phone for
Yeah.
other teams. Like, we didn't initiate any contact. We were waiting for teams to come to us because we knew we had all the cards. Like, we knew we
Yep.
had the cap space. We knew that all these teams wanted to get out of the tax. They wanted to get out of the apron. Like, it kind of just makes me wonder, like, what type of trades that were on the table for the Pistons.